So we are back again with another video, and today with an opposition preview with Ginger Jade from El Loco Leeds football channel. How are you doing today?
Yeah, not too bad. Thank you for having me on, matey. Really appreciate it.
That's okay. So obviously we want to talk about Leeds, and they're a team that have been promoted this season, and a team I thought personally would do quite well. They're under, for me, a world-class manager, a really good manager. You know, he's done a lot in his previous clubs, especially for Leo in most recent times. But what do you make of your manager? Do you think he's someone in the long term could lead you to success?
We've had tremendous success under Marcelo Bielsa. He's been with us now. This is his third year, and for some people who might not know, he's a very highly respected, legendary coach, and he's a coach that actually improves players rather than buying in a team. So most of our players have been with us for 5 years, and Bielsa's been with them for about three years, and he's improved them, leaps and bounds. And I'd love for him to stay. He's quite old as well. He's getting on a bit, but if we can get another 2 years out of him, that'll be fantastic. But he likes to do 1 year rolling contracts. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just fantastic being a Leeds fan and watching this fantastic person. I even drink my tea from his mug.
Fair play. Obviously, do you think in the future, do you think other managers, other teams may be attracting someone like Bielsa? Do you think you can keep a hold of him? Because obviously Leeds used to be such a big club so long ago, but then they've been out of the Premier League for some time. Do you think you can now stay in the Premier League, build upon that? Because obviously in 2004 or something it was, you had a lot of financial troubles, and that's why you went down. But do you think you can now stay in the Premier League and build upon it?
I think, yeah. I mean, this season is just about laying foundations for the coming seasons, and definitely, I mean, we'd love to keep Bielsa. It's just, we've just got him very late on in his career. I do believe that I think he'll finish his English managerial career with Leeds United, and then probably go back to Argentina or so because that's where he's from. Because he was a coach there for New Old Boys
Yeah.
back in sort of in the early 90s. So I think he's going to lay the foundations for us, and then I don't see us because what you talk about in 2003, 2004, we were chasing the dream, and we were in the top four position like yourselves. I've got tremendous respect for Arsenal, a real solid football club, and it's always nice to play games with Arsenal now. And it was something that I used to I look forward to, when the fixture list came out. And I don't think we'll have sort of financial peril like we had, many years ago, because we've got a really good chairman in Andrea Radrizzani, and it's the whole thing is just a real professional setup now behind the scenes.
Yeah, that always makes things much easier, to run the football club and make sure you're not going into things like that. But I want to talk about Leeds' style of play. Now, this has been
Yes.
something that has been very much, talked about in terms of they like to outrun every single team, keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing. What are your initial thoughts on that? Because do you think that's something sustainable? Do you think that's something a bad thing or a good thing moving into long term?
It's a great question, that is, matey. I actually love the way we play because, football is about entertainment.
Yeah.
Football is about winning. And I rather be in Leeds United's position as a championship team coming into the Premier League. This style of play suits us, and it's something that we've been coached and drilled. This isn't that he's just plucked it out of the air in the last 6 months. We've been doing this since 2018. So, I don't know how many Leeds fans you might have on your channel, but the first game that Bielsa took charge in 2018, Leeds played Stoke. Stoke City got relegated from the Premier League, and they came up and they faced us. And that's when we saw Marcelo Bielsa's football and his style of play take Stoke City apart. And Stoke City had some really good Premier League players, the likes of Jack Butland, Allen, and
Yeah.
they had all their sort of star men playing. Peters, who plays for Burnley now, so it was quite a strong Stoke City lineup. But Leeds blew them apart, and the style of play that you're talking about really sort of suits the Premier League for Leeds United. And in the Championship, we bossed the Championship, but the style of play in the Premier League, it really suits us.
Yeah, but I think there are some downsides to this as well, because obviously, if you're going to play like that, teams like Man United are going to pick you apart. And,
Yes.
that's why you lost 6-1. Do you think moving into maybe next season, teams will suss you out? They'll do is they'll sit back, they'll say, okay, Leeds can come to us, they can outrun us. And what we'll do is 67 minutes plus, then we'll pluck our counter attacks in, and then we'll pick them apart. What do you do then? Do you think that's still sustainable?
I take on board what you're saying, and I think for this season he's developed this particular style for this particular player. I don't believe, like I said when I first spoke to you just now, and we were talking in the lovely question that you gave me before, the the foundation is being built for this season. I think this kind of style, the attacking, will still keep with the attacking flair because he doesn't change his philosophy. But next season we'll bring in a better player maybe to add to our players that we've got already. Because I don't see this 11, this 11 that we play with. That's not going to be tinkered about with. It's just a question of adding on to this squad. So I think it is a sustainable approach. Just imagine if we had players of, say, of a Manchester City or
Yeah.
an Arsenal, say, because you've got a tremendous team on paper, and I really enjoy. I like Arteta, I really do. And just imagine if we had that kind of quality in our
Mm.
squad, and Bielsa ball was in full effect.
I want to get your thoughts on Leeds season so far, and we'll go into where Leeds will finish. But I just want to, just as an overall, what have you made of them so far? Do you think they can maybe push for because the league is so open? Do you think you can push for a top 8, Europa League maybe, or do you think you'll be mid-table for this season?
It's a very unpredictable season, like you just said,
Mm.
and anybody can beat anybody. I never tried to get carried away. And you've seen on my channel, I give very level-headed approach to match day videos, and I also give respect to the opponents that we're facing. And this season is an unprecedented season because we're in a global pandemic. And if you look at it, a few weeks ago, other teams were in the top 10 and Leeds were sort of 12th, and we've been like that. So I think where we are at this precise moment is great. If we can finish about there, I would take that, because it's a team that's come from the Championship and the first season back. I'd rather be in Leeds United's position than, say, our other clubs that came up with us, the West Bromwich Albions, the Fulhams. They've struggled in the Premier League.
Yeah. Maybe because they've not got a set style of play, and obviously West Brom been changing managers, obviously. But you
Yeah.
touched on it earlier. But what, as an outsider, what do you look on our situation at the moment? Because personally, if you don't know, I don't want this manager. He's incompetent. He doesn't have a style of play. Because we saw with Tuchel at Chelsea, in one game you have a style of play. In 13 months, I don't see a style of play with this manager. I don't see where we're going with a set of players. I think in this unpredictable league, could be top 4 contenders, in my opinion. That's why I predicted we could get there. But what's your just overall thoughts?
I completely understand your frustration with Arteta, but I'm as an outside fan looking at Arsenal. You guys are in a transition year. There's no way the likes of Aubameyang and Saka, or Lacazette even, rather, those couple of players, Xhaka and Pepe, you shouldn't be 10th or 11th or 12th.
Yeah.
Should be there in the top 6, because that's where Arsenal should be. But for some reason, it's you've won the FA Cup. The style of play a couple of weeks ago was really, really good. I thought you were tremendously unlucky against Aston Villa. I was actually rooting for you guys, and I thought, let's hope Arsenal win because I've got a couple of your boys in my fantasy team, and but 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 I do believe that it's an ongoing project with Arsenal and with Arteta. I think he won the FA Cup, and that gave him a little bit of time. With you guys and Chelsea, with the Lampard thing, it was completely different. Lampard was out. I think he was out of his depth at Chelsea. With
Yes.
Arteta, I think. Pardon?
Yeah, I thought that was about Chelsea as well with Lampard, but I just think with Arteta, he can be doing much better with these settled players. And I think this whole process thing, I don't buy into it because firstly, he's keeping
Okay.
the likes of Rob Holding, Louise. But I want to move on now, talk about the previous game we had, which was at Ellen Road, 0-0. What did you make of that one? Because obviously we had a man sent off in Pepe. Do you think you should have won that game? Because you had a few chances with Rafinha and Bamford, and I think there was a few more that he hit the crossbar, hit the post. Do you think you got unlucky in that one?
Yeah, we were unlucky, and Rodrigo actually hit the bar, didn't he?
Yeah,
And
that one.
we had loads of shots against you guys, and I think that was when you guys were going through your lean spell,
Yeah.
and we sort of took you on, and then you got the red card with Pepe. That didn't help matters, and I thought it was a game that at the start. I was worried because it's Arsenal, and I really thought that we were going to get hammered, but the display the boys Leeds put on really made everybody take notice that it's that Leeds United are back in town, and but like I said, it was a game of very few chances. But I remember you had a good chance with Saka at the he was going to win it for you in the 83rd, 85th minute or something like that. So I was very happy with that game, and it was a positive result, even a 0-0. But we were, as a fan base, we were looking at our chances and how many we've missed.
Yeah.
We should have got the win, but you can't win them all, can you?
Yeah. Moving into this specific game, moving into first of all Leeds, what are your ones to watch for players that Arsenal should be afraid of? Because my two players that I look at and say could cause us a few problems is first of all Bamford with his goals and the amount of shots he takes, and the second one is Rafinha with the technical ability he's got. He could pose against Rob Holding, who will struggle against him. Who do you think will cause the most problems in this one?
Completely agree with you. Those two are on fire. Rafinha is getting a bit of a reputation in the last 3 weeks. We need to calm him down a bit because we don't want to lose him in the summer because the big boys are out in force to get him. But he's a phenomenal player. He's really, really good. And Patrick Bamford, fair play to him. I mean, he scored his 100th career goal, and he's a bit of a journeyman. As in, he's played for lots of clubs, and he never got a fair crack of the whip in the Premier League. But I was a big fan of him in the Championship because he was a player that had some sort of talent about him. He can control the ball and has got some skill. Players to look out for. Obviously, if Calvin Phillips plays. He's got a bit of an injury he picked up against Crystal Palace, so we don't know. Even Marcelo Bielsa doesn't know whether he's going to be fit enough to face the Gunners. But I think we've got Matthias Klick. He's quite a good midfielder, has a good engine on him, and Jack Harrison's another one that you need to watch out for, and that's it really. And like I said, with Bielsa and Leeds United, it's a very unpredictable sort of game of football. I can't sit there and tell you, that Jack Harrison's going to be brilliant or what. It just depends on the day. It's really sort of uncanny football because it's can just go one way. I mean, we could have a shocker at the back, and you guys we can ship in goals as well. We've scored 38 and we've let in 38. We've won 10, we've lost 10, and we've drawn 2.
All right. Arsenal's threat for Leeds, I think, for me, will be our very attacking technical players, like your Sakas, like your Martinellis, maybe your Aubameyang, Pepe as well, because our game's going to be on the counter-attack in this one. You're going to outrun us, most likely. You're going to be on the front foot, maybe, possibly, because, I think Arteta might look at it and say, look, let's just sit back against these lot. They're going to come at you. So on the counter attack, do you worry for players like, you know, Pepe, Saka, Martinelli to cause you damage?
Yes, I do worry. I worry about the whole of your team. I'm still worried, even though you guys probably haven't got much faith in Arteta. I believe, you know, the players that you've got, Aubameyang and Lacazette, they are quality players. It's you know, quality doesn't go overnight, and sometimes us as fans, we tend to get frustrated. But then, you know, you got to look at it. They're professionals. It takes them. It takes everybody time to get settled in with other manager techniques or whatnot. And Aubameyang is still, you know, he's still fantastic. Pepe is a worry. He's a fast lad, and Saka is really fast. I mean, I felt really bad for him last week at Villa. He was just getting, you know, they were just trying to injure him. It felt like, you know, every time he got the
Yeah.
ball, a massive tackle, and then the week before that, you had some problems with VAR. You know, that was a shocker of a game as well.
Mm. Now I want to move into Leeds predicted lineup for you. Starting off, obviously in goal, you're gonna go Meslier, isn't it?
Yes,
What
yes.
defense? What? Give me your sort of defense, midfield, attack. What formation would you go with? The players. Give me your predicted lineup essentially.
Well, usually it's we try to keep the starting 11 the best every week the same. So, but the problem that we've got, what we might face here, is that Luke Ayling might be drafted into centre half if Calvin Phillips doesn't participate in the game. So I'll give you the predicted 11 with on the proviso that Calvin Phillips is in the Leeds team. So it'll be Meslier in goal, obviously. Luke Ayling on the right hand side of defence. Liam Cooper, Pascal Strike as our centre back pairing, and Alioski as the left back. CDM position would be Calvin Phillips, Matthias Klick, and Stuart Dallas in the centre midfield. Rafinha on the right, Jack Harrison on the left, and Patrick Bamford as our striker. And if by any chance Calvin Phillips is injured, then you'll probably see Luke Ayling going to the centre half position, and Pascal Strike to probably come into the CDM position, and then Stuart Dallas will be going over to the right hand side of midfield, and then there's a central midfield spot vacant, and that could be filled with Pablo Hernandez, Jamie Shackleton, or even Tyler Roberts. Or we might even see Stuart Dallas retain the centre midfield position and Jamie Shackleton might be at the right back position. That's only if Calvin Phillips doesn't play.
Yeah, for everyone watching, I will do my predicted 11. I've got a video out for tomorrow, but just to give you an insight, obviously Leno is back from suspension, so he will come back into the side. Obviously, Ryan did really well against Aston Villa, but right back, Arteta will probably go Bellerin. I'd like to see Cedric in there. Gabriel probably start, maybe Marie as well. Left back, Tierney, I'm not too sure if he'll be back or not. I hope he is, but I think Arteta might keep him for the Europa League, because we do have Benfica next week to look out for. So maybe Arteta has one eye on that. I'm not too sure. But in the midfield, I think Partey will be out for this one. I think he'll be rested. So that'll be a huge, good thing for you, because then you will be able to dominate that midfield if Thomas Partey is not in there, because he is a world-class midfielder. And up top, obviously, Aubameyang will probably play, maybe Lacazette. On the right, Saka definitely. And on the left, I think Arteta may go Pepe, maybe even Martinelli. Either way, it will cause you a lot of problems. But just to finish off, who do you think will win this game?
Oh, you
Just
asked me
overall,
that
looking at
question.
everything.
Pardon?
Just looking at everything, who do you think will win it? Just looking at everything.
Looking at everything, I always go for, obviously it's our clubs and we've got to go for the win. But I will take a draw, because we more or less sit in the same sort of position, and 10 versus 11. It's a mid-table sort of fixture, mid-table sort of encounter, and I'll take a 1-1 draw. from this Arsenal game, because we always struggle playing in London. Leeds United do, have got a horrendous history playing in London and playing London clubs. So yeah, I'll take a 1-1 draw. That's what I would like. If we can steal a victory, that'll be fantastic. But 1-1.
1-1. I think for us, it's important we win, definitely, because obviously we got knocked out the FA Cup to go and only get 4 points out the next 12. So for us, we need to win, especially going into our next run of games, which is Benfica, Man City, Benfica, Leicester, which is going to be so big for us in terms of, trying to rotate our squad. So this Leeds game is an important one just to lift our confidence back up to where it was in that 7-game unbeaten run. But I think if Arteta plays it right, if he can play it tactically right, I think if we don't play it tactically right, you can destroy us. If we play it tactically right, we can destroy you. I think that's how it could work. In terms of, if Arteta plays too attacking, if he tries to go for it, Leeds will pick us apart and then we'll lose the game. But before we finish off, just some quick fire questions.
Yeah.
Who do you think will win the league?
Who do I think will win the league? I'm hoping that Manchester City win the league. I think they've been the standout team. I've got tremendous respect for Pep Guardiola. I think he sets his team up really, really well. So my pick, and from the start, I was, it was going to be Manchester City for me.
Yeah, it's a question earlier, and there's a question here as well. Who are your top 4 predictions? Obviously, you're going Man City. So who fills the other 3 spots? A very tricky question.
Very tricky. I don't want to upset any of the opposing fans. So I think we've got Manchester City, who would be champions. We'd go with Manchester United, maybe, in there. You can't rule Liverpool out. And then that 4th position, could it be Leicester? And I've got a sneaky suspicion. I think it's out of that 4th position is going to be out of Chelsea, Leicester, and Everton. And I've got a feeling that Everton will be top 4.
I mean, they've got a manager to do it, but have they got the squad? Have they got the players? I think it'll be Man City at the top. I think it'll be maybe United on the 2nd, Chelsea 3rd, and then 4th, probably Liverpool for me. Because I think Tuchel will get Chelsea into a very high position. They're only 1 point behind Liverpool as it is. So in a few weeks, if he gets it right, if with the players they've got, I think Chelsea could easily snatch anything off. But
That's it.
Yeah,
it's a very open sort of top 5. It's so hard to predict. I mean, like I said, you can't rule your neighbours out of it either. Jose Mourinho and Tottenham, they could be, because Kane's back, and that was a big surprise that Harry Kane turned up and played last week. So but I really do. I take on point what you're saying about Chelsea. I do believe that they can make a late surge for it. And but Leicester's played really, really well. I mean, we beat them last 2 weeks ago, but they've had a really good season. And but Liverpool, you never know, they could just turn it around as well. But it's really exciting. I'm really enjoying the Premier League.
Yeah, I know. If you had to give me one position you think Leeds will finish, where will it be?
One position Leeds will finish for this season. I think if we can hang on to this 10th spot, that'll be a great first season back in the Premier League after 16 years.
My prediction's 11th, because I think Wolves are behind, so I think they'll step it up a bit. I think Leeds will finish 11th this season. Just on us, where do you think we'll finish? Arsenal.
If I predicted 10th for us, I think you guys can be 9th. There you go.
9th, that's what I've gone with as well. I think Arsenal will finish 9th this season. Again, that's rubbish because we've not got the FA Cup, so we'll have to go for the Europa League, won't we? But we'll just have to see. It's such an unpredictable league. If we can string a run of results together, you never know. We could be up there for the top 4 suddenly. It's just so unpredictable at the moment. But just to finish off, tell me about your channel. What do you do? Where can they follow you?
Yeah, it's at the El Loco Leeds football channel on YouTube. We tend to do myself and Luke Cornier, we do live streams. We've got this content that we create every sort of Tuesdays and Wednesdays called The Score with Luke and Jinder, where we talk about the Leeds games. And over the weekend, I also do a match day reaction video and a pre-match reaction video as well. And like I said, I always try to give a fair and objective response. Even though we are football fans of different opposing teams, I have a lot of respect for every club out there, because it's you know, at the end of the day, we're all passionate fans, and we want our teams to win. But you know, it's football as well, and you know, it's all nice bit of light-hearted banter as well. So nice, easy listening pre-match videos and match day reaction videos from the El Loco Leeds.
Make sure to go subscribe. The link is in the title, so if you go click, that'll take you right to his channel. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.
Cheers. Thank you.